Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be delivering a goal setting workshop with you today. I'm Amanda Bracks, and thank you very much for coming on this webinar with me and coming through this journey. It's really, really crucial to you achieving your goals. So, just a little bit about your presenter, which is obviously me. I've been in the fitness industry since 1995. I've presented in India, I've presented in China, I've talked at the Australian fitness industry events, which are the largest events in the Australasia, Fitness New Zealand. I work for some of the biggest, largest fitness companies in the world, a lot of franchises and chains, 24 hours, women's only, leisure centres, you name it, I've worked with them. I've written 3 books actually for the fitness industry, and now I own a yoga and Pilates studio, Soulful Fitness at Lane Cove. So I've really written this workshop. These are some of the trainings that I train personal trainers all over the world. It doesn't matter what countries they live in. These are some of the teachings that I teach them, basically with some of the statistics that I'll go through. If I am overseas teaching personal trainers this, we obviously break it down to their country and their statistics. But for Australia, let's get into it. So the first part about reaching your goals is really finding out what and determining what's your why. Finding out why is crucial to succeeding at your goals. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to strengthen? Why do you want to give up smoking? Why do you want to start meditation? It can't be for somebody else or something else. It's got to be the stuff that's in the bottom of your basement in your belly, not just the superficial things such as losing weight or toning up. That's nice, and we all know we should be healthier and fitter, but the stuff that's in the bottom of the basement that we need to figure out how you're feeling and why you want to start these programs. Why do you want to improve your flexibility? Why do you want to start a wellness program? What ultimately is your why? So if you can spend a few minutes just writing down now, what is your why? Why do you want to achieve some of these things that you're outlining that you want to achieve? This is crucial. And then we're going to have a look at why it didn't happen before. Here are a list of things, reasons. I've, spoken to at least 50,000 customers in the fitness industry. I've engaged probably about 23,000 people onto a membership, and then obviously watched their journey along the way. I've mentored thousands of business owners and personal trainers around the world. I kind of hear the same stuff over and over again. People say, eating plans eating plans, in my mind, eating plans work. A great, well balanced eating plan work, and exercise plans work. At one stage, if you've decided that something hasn't worked, it's because you chose to stop and not to go ahead with it. I've written there at one stage you chose not to stop. So that's the stage that you're actually achieving really, really great results. But then at one stage you did actually choose to stop, to not continue, to not attend, to not eat the healthy option, when you might be out with friends, to drink too much. You might have said, at a party and you've had a couple too many wines or whatever. You started smoking because you thought, what, I haven't had one for 3 months. So let's, reward myself with the smoke, which is crazy. To put other things first, maybe to sleep in and not get your workout. Every time your eating habits, the healthy eating habits or your exercise habits break down is because you've actually made a conscious decision not to do it, which is awesome, because what that means is that it empowers you, that you are the one that is actually in charge of your outcomes. It's not environmental or something else that's happened to you. It's you. You've actually decided that you're not going to do it at this time. It's quite empowering, but it's very important for responsibility to come back on you at all times for your well-being and your health. So why didn't it happen before? Because maybe you let excuses, come in the way before facts in your mind. I know definitely all the time I say to people, is that an excuse or a fact? Like I say it to myself, if you wake up and it's cold in winter and it's 8 o'clock and you want to go to the 8:30 yoga class, you say, oh, but it's cold outside. Is that an excuse or a fact? Why you can't exercise this morning? It's actually an excuse. You just got to get yourself up. But if it's factual, like you got in the car to start it and it broke and the car won't start and you just logistically can't get to that 8:30 class, well, that's just unfortunate thing that's happened, and you'll get to the next class after you sort your car out. So we really need to make sure that the little excuses, the things that we're finding to prevent us from eating well or exercising, are not getting in the way of our success and our happiness. So ask yourself, is it an excuse or a fact, and what is preventing you from achieving your specific goal? What are the things that are preventing you from actually achieving 5 kilos weight loss, being stronger, being more confident, losing 25 kilos, getting your legs more strong for ski season, whatever it is. Now, I love to have this personal goal sheet. It's very important. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and it's I read this book 20 years ago, and it's all about goal setting, about writing down exactly what you want 1 year, 3 years, 5 years out. And for over 20 years I've done this, and I've left it near my wardrobe. So I would like you to start writing down. You can pause this session and you can actually start writing down those things that you want to achieve. Health and fitness. It might be that you want to run a 14K city to surf, or a half marathon, or you might want to just start a healthy detox eating plan for a month, just as a cleanse. You might want to start a health club membership. You might want to start a yoga program. Whatever it is, you must write in there your 1 year goals. And maybe it's just an attendance goal, like you want to exercise 4 times a week, or twice a week for that matter. And little things like that, slot your little goals in under 1 year. And then in 3 years' time, what would you like to be doing? Would you like to take up a Pilates membership and attend twice a week for core strength and stability, especially working off, on muscles for osteoporosis and things like that? Make sure that you've got a succession plan year after year after year for your health and fitness program. Love and family. So you want to be able to write down there, like maybe you're single and you want to find a partner. Maybe you're married and you want to continually say, look, once a month we're going on a date night without the kids. And family goals, it might be that you're going to spend at least half a day a week taking a day off and attending functions at school or something like that, for your children. Career, look, you might want to, I've jumped one, friends. So your friends' goals might be that you might want to go out to breakfast, make sure you stay in contact. And if you don't see your friends in a 2-week period, you're going to give them a phone call, not just send them messages on text message, and just really have a conversation about how they're going. Financial, so with your, I keep skipping ahead, I get very excited, don't I? So with your career goals, you might want to put down that in this career, for this year, you want to, you want to look for a new role, or you want to stay in this role and be able to achieve some of the tasks and the key accountabilities really well at 100%. You might want to go for a great review in your role. And then you might want to say, okay, in 3 years' time, where do you want to be? Do you want a promotion? Do you want to be a senior level? Or would you like to just still be at your same level, but really enjoying the rest of your life? Like, there's nothing wrong with staying the same in your career as long as you're happy in your life. Like, I think we always try and chase more and more and more. When is enough? Enough really is a great question. Financial goals, so that might be to save, $10,000, or to start earning, at the end of the year you want to earn $80,000 package or whatever that may be, and just start writing down your financial goals. Could be even to save money for a deposit on an investment property. Holiday goals, definitely write down the places that you want to go. I know that I put my holiday goals in there, that I'm going to go to Byron Bay, I want to go to Hawaii, or I want to, go to Vietnam on a tour or something like that. And you put your 1, 3 years and 5 years holidays in there. Now, you might not know where you want to go in 5 years, but if you just slot a few things down, this whole list is always adaptable. But it's better to put a lot of stuff on it rather than nothing, because then you've got no goals and no achievements. Tweaking it's not a problem. It's just getting it down in the first place and actually having a little conversation with yourself about what you actually want from your personal life. Education, obviously you want to put in there that you want to, learn a new course. I know the team at Soulful Fitness at the moment are going through a huge education program. We're all doing courses. I've enrolled myself in 3 courses this year, which is incredible, because usually I write the courses. We just got to grow, and we're going to keep developing. And yoga teachers are continuously learning, and so are our Pilates teachers. So even our reception desks are all enrolled in courses. So we've got little different things tucked under our education goals, and so you can put yours under there as well. So for your spiritual goals, it could be something like if you like to attend church on Sundays, or it could be something that you want to read more Buddhist books. It could be something so simple as last week I was in Glebe and I walked past a homeless boy and I went past him a couple of times. I knew I was going to talk to him. I just had to get a delivery into the car. And I sat down with him and I said, "Hey, what's going on? How old are you?" And he said he was 16. And I said, "What's happening?" And he said, "Oh, my mum left." I said, why are you here? Why are you on the street?" He said, "My mum left me." And I said, "Okay, why?" And he just started talking. And then I said, "Okay, so are you hungry?" And he said, "No, no." And he was just in a t-shirt and shorts and it was pretty cold. It was only, 15, 12 degrees and he's in the shade on this concrete. And he had his jumper out collecting coins. And I said, why do you, no, why are you not hungry? And he said, "Oh, I need to just get money." I said, "Why aren't you at school?" He said, "I go sometimes." I said, "You need to go all the times." He goes, "I know." I said, "Where do you live?" He said, "Just down in the park." I said, "Okay." So I said, "Right. So you need to, you go to school." I said, "You need to attend school." And he said, "Yes, he will go to school." I said, "Have you got support from people at school?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay. So why are you here?" And he said, "I need money for my friends." And I thought, "Oh, okay, here we go." So maybe, someone's putting him up to it. I'm not sure what's going on. So, okay. So I went into the shop. There's lots of vegetarian shops. And I thought a 16-year-old boy is not going to be happy with the vegetarian, is he? So I thought I'll go into the burger shop, which is strange for me being in the fitness industry, and also I don't eat red meat. So I bought him a grilled piece of steak on a burger, and I bought him a bottle of water and some other things, and I took it up to him and I sat down with him. I said, "Here's your lunch. You need to start looking after yourself and start forgetting about your mates." And for me, that's a spirituality goal for me. My girlfriend heard about it the other day and she said, "Why don't we once a month? It's not much. Why don't we just pack up a whole lot of dinners and why don't we just go and give them to people who are living on the street?" So we're going to do that as part of our spiritual goals over the next 1 and 3 years. And I know that there's other things out there, but there's so many homeless people and we just don't know about it. And it takes nothing for us to cook up few bowls of soup or a few extra containers and go and give them to people. So that's our spiritual goals, and that's just mine and Amanda's. But you might have your own goals, which are much more aligned with religion beliefs or anything like that. So just please have a little think about it, because it's really important to get a balance across from home and family to career to finances down to the spiritual. And you might have a few little goals around your home of little things that you want to do, like you might want to do some renovations or you might want to just do some cleaning. It's just, it's really important to get those down. So if you have time, pause this session now and start filling them out. So let's get into some statistics for health. So almost 2 in 3 Australian adults are obese. %82 of the population are not exercising regularly. Inactivity is the second leading cause of cancer behind tobacco. So these statistics, Australia's getting huger, we're getting bigger, we're getting more population, we're getting population that's getting, more obese, and inactivity is the second leading cause of cancer behind tobacco in the world. We're also getting more stressed, as some of the statistics in a minute will come to play and show you. So physical activity, as we just said, is the fourth leading cause of death due to non-communicable diseases worldwide, contributing to over 3 million preventable deaths annually. So it's really important that we know this, like just moving stops a lot of cancers. And yes, there's a million other things that contribute to cancer. And it's a hurtful thing. We've all seen people go through immense pain with it. We've had losses. Nearly everybody has had some connection with a loss of cancer. But we can do a lot to ensure that we are preventing some of it and even having just a better quality of life. Physical activity, inactivity, we know is the second biggest contributor, so we just really need to sort that out. Okay, so according to the latest Australian Health Survey, the highest level of physical activity were amongst the young, 18 to 24-year-olds. sufficiently active. So levels of physical activity tended to decline as we get older, which is not good. The lowest being among people that are 75 or older. Body mass indexes, the underweight normal weight population were 1.4 times more likely to have done sufficient physical activity compared. So that makes sense, right? According to, again, the survey, the highest levels of, I've just done the same slide. Sorry about that. So smoking status. So ex-smokers and people who never smoked were 1.2 times more likely to have done sufficient physical activity compared with current smokers. So smoking's not good. Seems like smoking leads to inactivity, which obviously then leads to immense cancer problems. So, now we've got to look at our lifestyle. So we're sitting down, occupying about 39 hours a week for adults, and then 10 hours a week is sitting at work, and the rest is sort of sitting around for TV and stuff like that. In a lot of other jobs, there's a lot of sitting. Some people's roles, such as, research analysts, data analysts, receptionists, 40 hours a week is sitting down. So, we've got to get up, we've got to get moving. Watching TV was the most prevalent sedentary activity at nearly 13 hours a week. So, if we're sitting down at work, sitting down in our cars, going to work, and then we come and sit down at home on the lounge and watch TV, those gluteal muscles and some of our pelvic floor and our core stabilizers in our stomach, they're just not turned on like they should. They're just not strong, and we're just not activating them. Hence, we have hip problems, we have back problems, and we have neck problems because our body is just not moving and functioning the way it should. We really need the stretch of the yoga, the strengthening of the vinyasa, and we need the Pilates reformer beds to get the weight bearing exercise, to get those core stabilizers really active, turned on, and holding our bodies properly. All right. Let's get on to the next one. So stress is now growing as well. So 35% of Australians reported having significant levels of distress in their lives. 26% of Australians reported above normal anxiety symptoms. 26% of Australians report having moderate to extremely severe levels of depression symptoms. So anxiety, distress, and depression are chronic across the Australian population as well. And what's not good is in 2005, anxiety symptoms were the highest they've been in the past 5 years of the surveys that have been done by the Stress and Wellness Association. So, we're getting fatter, we're getting more stressed, and unfortunately, we're not turning to exercise as a relief. The cause of stress is the top 5 causes are obviously personal finances. It's a no-brainer, 49%. Family issues is 45%. Personal health, funny enough, personal health is actually a huge contributor to stress and trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. 40% of people say it's the most stressful thing to do. Where, it's actually really simple. What they just don't do is they just don't goal set properly. Issues with health of others and close to us, because they are obviously other people in our society are obviously suffering from diseases from being overweight or inactivity or stress. So 38% of people have said they're stressed because they're looking after others or have people close to them that have some health issues. Now, this is how we probably inefficiently deal with our stress. So the 5 most popular ways of maintaining stress in the last 5 years in Australia have been watching television and movies. I laugh because it's such a band-aid effect. We've all done it. We've all come home and gone, oh, I've had a crazy day. Let's just find a movie and let's just escape into that world for a little while. Yes, it feels nice for an hour and a half. However, your problems are exactly the same when you wake up tomorrow. It's best to deal with them with, some great tools, some mindfulness coaching, psychologists if you need it, some yoga and meditation to make you clear your mind, not put more stuff in it. The last thing you need is to watch TV and put more stuff into your mind when you're having stress. What you need to do is lie down, take a deep breath in, align with your body, align with the universe, and you actually need to just let everything in your mind go and let it be still, because that's when the answers come to you. That's when you allow your best work to come. And unfortunately, by just putting noise in is just making it worse. Focusing on the positives, 81%. I'm really not sure how they define that, but obviously people find it easy to get over stress when they're focusing on positives. Spending time with family and friends is obviously very important. Whether that could cause more stress, I'm not sure, but 81% of people said found talking about it is very, very therapeutic. Listening to music is 80%, and there's some wonderful sound healers around, and we have sound healers in our studio as well. Some sound healing workshops is all about vibration and music and singing by a performer, which actually helps you meditate and form into a deep level of intuition and subconscious. And again, that's when you have the best ways of thinking and feeling. And reading, 75% of people found stress, be able to maintain stress through reading. We need exercise and meditation to be up there. It's just not enough. So the stages of change model is a health model designed by social marketers to help us understand what different processes people go through to start an exercise program or even give up smoking, something like that. So pre-contemplation is when people don't recognize the problem. If you need to lose more than 60 to 100 kilos and you don't know that you've got a problem, or you want to give up smoking, or actually you don't want to give up smoking, you're smoking a packet of cigarettes a day, you're still going to the junk food places and eating the same food every day and you think there's no problem with it, that's pre-contemplation. Contemplation is if you've decided, if you're watching this video, pretty much you're in contemplation or preparation where you're seriously thinking about change, but you're saying the word should. Like, I should go down to that studio and see how much the yoga classes are, or I should take up a Pilates class, or I should start some meditation, or I should come in with my friend. So if you're a should person, you're in contemplation. Contemplation could also be if you become a studio member and then you've not attended for a month because excuses and some facts have got in the way, and then you've allowed these excuses to overtake. So you just need to cut the excuses back. We have enough facts in our life to deal with, to give us enough blockages. We don't need the excuses on top. So get rid of the excuses, see what's factual, and then come back. And if you've been away from the studio for a month, you're probably saying to yourself, I should get back into it, or I should go down there. And you need to get into the next level down, which is preparation. Preparation is making a commitment to change and taking steps. So if you are on our website now having a look around at classes and making a web inquiry, or if you phone the studio, or if you're going to just pop in and find out what we do, you are in preparation and you are on your way to making a big change in your behavior. Action is for all our members that have actually joined. Congratulations, because you've got to action. It's a massive deal. And you know, remember 82% of the Australian population is not on an exercise program regularly. So you may have been one of those and you've stepped into the game. So I really appreciate your efforts for yourself and your health. Action is, just the person has actually joined. So what we need to now understand is it takes, yes, 21 to 30 days to form a habit, but it takes 6 months to form an exercise habit into your life, because your life has to change. No matter what happens, your life has to change to allow you to do this. You might need to, rearrange your pickups and drop-offs of the school children's times. You might need to leave work a little bit earlier, or pack, your yoga pants to go to work. You may need to organize some preparation meals because you're coming home later because you're doing a yoga class. So you may need to have a meal ready from the night before that you can just heat up. There are going to be changes. You are going to be moving. Your blood's going to be you're going to be starting to generate some new blood in your system. You're going to be able to generate some new muscle tissue and cells in your body. Everything is changing if you start moving. So you are definitely in action. You are in maintenance if you've done 6 months worth of exercise. Then there's another step called termination. So if you've exercised for more than 6 months regularly, congratulations, you're in termination of these stages of change, meaning it is now part of your lifestyle, and it's just like brushing your teeth. You'll get your 2 hours or so of exercise in each week, regardless. Right, so now we get into your personal goals, and we're going to set some goals for you. So people make change when they're moving away from pain towards pleasure. They don't make change when they're just focused on the pleasure, such as being in a bikini for Christmas, having your relatives from England come out and being able to run around in my swimsuit feeling confident, being healthier for my kids, having more energy, being a good role model. None of those things are actually drivers of change or allow us to actually take change and start an exercise program or start a healthy eating program. We only do that when we avoid something, when there's real pain. So if you just take some moment now to figure out, remember going back to the why is really important. Why do you want to do this? But then the question is, how will you feel if you don't do this? Because that's realistic. If you don't start today, then how are you going to feel? Because there's only two options: start today and make progress, or stay the way you are and you become more deconditioned. You can change your body chemistry in any given moment. If you had this ticket in your hand, holding it, and you closed your eyes just for 1 minute and believe what I tell you, and if I told you you had Tuesday night's Oz Lotto ticket for $22 million in your hand, and that's the winning ticket, how will you feel? You would feel so amazing. And even though you know this is a game, you are still smiling right this minute. I know you are. And you have, you change your chemistry. I use it when I'm doing, a pose for yoga, or it might be chaturanga. It might be a push-ups. And, if I feel like I can't do any more, I say to myself, could I do 4 or 5 more for $1 million? And you watch those 4 or 5 more come out. It's when we actually are tired, it's those last reps that make the big difference in our body changes and growth. And why we say this is because when we're sitting around with our friends, all we say is, if our friend says something like, oh, I really feel like I need to lose a couple of kilos, most friends don't want to hurt friends. So they'll say, um, oh, no, you're all right. You're fantastic. We love you the way you are. And they'll just make the person feel better about themselves when they should have actually said, tell me a bit more about this. What's going on with that? And they should take their friend through a series of questions and really listen to the answers and listen to what's going on. Because the friend won't be motivated to exercise if their other friends are just telling them it's okay, eat the fries, or I have the glass of wine, spoil yourself. It's, they'll make them feel good when really they really need to be focusing on the avoidance so they can take action and get started. So one of the best books, actually probably the best books I've ever read in my entire life. I've read a lot of books on goal setting, consumer behavior, psychology, but this book had to be one of the best books I've ever read, Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. Even if you don't ever see him live or go to any of his courses or watch anything, what you take out of the book, everything has been derived. All these other workshops have been derived from the amazing things in this book. So what this book states is there's the 6 master steps to change this. 1, decide what you really want. And I quote the Spice Girls. Now, tell me what you want, what you really, really want, and really, 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 really want. It's got to be something so burning that it's so deep in the bottom of your gut that you've got to start bringing it out on an extraction process. What do you really, really want, and what's preventing you from having it right this moment? And then get leverage, because when you ask yourself that first question, it's going to rule out all the lame excuses and just bring in a couple of hard facts. Get leverage, associate massive pain to not changing now and massive pleasure to the experience if you change. And then you interrupt the limiting pattern, and then you create a new empowering alternative and the condition the new pattern until it's consistent, and then you test it. So basically, if you were smoking and trying to give up smoking, and your workmates at 10:30 all had a coffee out in the veranda and had a smoke, and you're used to that, if you go out just for the coffee and say that you're not going to have a smoke, more than likely you're going to have the cigarette. It'd be better to just say at 10:30, I'm going to work through my coffee breaks whilst I'm trying to give up smoking, or go downstairs to the juice bar and get yourself a smoothie and create a new and empowering alternative. And then after a month or two, when you feel completely confident that you've given up the smoking and you're okay, go and test yourself by going out on that veranda at 10:30 and see if you can just have a coffee without the cigarette. And this is the process of change. But we only make change as in what's in the brain when the pain is we're really pushing away from the pain towards the pleasure. The pleasure is just not enough for us to do it. So let's go into some of your goals. Number 1, what is your number 1 health and fitness and wellness priority you want to achieve? Number 1. So if you say tone up, is that your number 1? Like ultimately, that is the most important thing possible to you, that you want to tone up. And Then we need to get more specific, because anybody can say that. Where are 2 or 3 areas on your body that you're not happy with? Not how do you want to look and all pleasure. Remember, we want to know what you're avoiding. Give me 2 or 3 areas that you're not happy with. Why do you want to achieve these goals? Like, that's the big question that we started with, the why. And then when specifically, by locking in a date, do you want to achieve these goals by? It can't be 3 or 6 months, because that can start anytime, and that's the dream. These questions are hard and they're confronting, because they lock dreams into realities, and then you're going to have to do it, right? So the commitment, and that's hard, because then you've got to start getting it done. So let's go through an example. So someone might come to me and say, I want to lose weight. Very wishy-washy, very general. And then I'll say to them, so specifically, where are 2 or 3 areas you're not happy with? And they might say my stomach and my back. And I'll say, what's going on with these areas? Well, when I wear shorts and tops, my stomach hangs over. And how does that make you feel? Well, it actually makes me feel old and unconfident and ugly. And these words are hard and they're confronting, and they're words that a normal customer would say to me. And that's okay, because this is how this person is feeling. And that, getting away from that feeling, is what's going to make them not just have motivation, but have willpower to do it and achieve the goals. So spend a few minutes now. What is your number one fitness, health, or wellness goal that you want to achieve? Where are 2 or 3 other areas on your body that you're really not happy with? What's going on with them? And how does that make you feel? Why do you want to achieve this goal? And when do you want to achieve it by? And how will you feel by that date if you're in your current condition or worse, if you don't start with your goals and don't achieve your goals? So how this works is this. Lady wants to lose 20 kilos by the 15th of January because her family are coming out from England. If you don't start now, how will you feel on that beach with all your family out if you're in your current condition or worse? Oh, pretty bad, pretty not happy. Okay, that's reality. In my head, I always think that is reality. So we can either start now, and you can start now on your goals, or that's going to happen. You've just got to look futuristic down the track. If you've got goals now, and the goals setting could be, it can actually be adapted clearly to any other goals in your life. It could be money. It could be, if we've got no money at the moment, how are we going to, what's our number one financial problem? We spend too much money. So we're 2 or 3 areas that we're just not happy with. We eat out every day when we could be saving money. And what do we want to do? We want to save $10,000 this year, and give us a deadline by the date you want to save that $10,000 by. All right, we'll say 31st of December. Okay, great. What's going to happen? How will you feel by the 31st of December if you don't save $10,000? Oh, frustrated. Financial situation, just, we just got to get on top of it. All right. And then you put goals in place. But you got to break it down to figuring out what exactly you want, why do you want it, and when's the deadline you're going to lock it in, because that's major commitment. Then you need to write down what the obstacles are that are going to stop you from achieving your goals, and give us some solutions. So with weight loss, what are the obstacles? One, finding the time because of work long hours. Solution is that we're going to make sure we do a workout Saturdays and Sundays and one time during the week, or we work out at 6 a.m. because then you're not going to be held back at work at night. Obstacle 2 might be chocolate. What we're going to do is we're going to change from milk chocolate to dark chocolate. That way it's bitter and you don't want to eat a lot of chocolate. Obstacle 3 might be that you drink a lot of alcohol, and the solution is to drink 2 glasses of water in between each glass of alcohol, because it is impossible to drink 10 glasses of wine and then 2 glasses in between each one of those wines, 20 odd glasses of water in between. You're not going to drink 30 glasses of volume. So there's lots and lots and lots of solutions, but just write down the obstacles and stop this session any time so that you can spend time on yourself, because you are very, very important, and we spend so much time looking after everybody else, partners, kids, work colleagues, bosses, friends, that very rarely do you spend half an hour to an hour in a week to sit down and say, hey, myself, what do I want? You really don't do it, and that's why we live in the short term so much with our food. The other thing we do at Soulful Fitness is we actually ask you to sit down and work out your wheel of life. So the wheel of life is this. It's, it's love, energy, nutrition, career, confidence, strength, happiness, finances, fitness, weight management, sleep, health, libido, stress. What we find is that when people start exercising in a wellness program, that all these other things just start working. I've had a guy I worked with lose 85 kilos, and he didn't have a girlfriend. He didn't have he had a job that he wasn't making much money, and he'd never been on a plane. He never had a social life. And when he lost the weight, or even started to lose the weight, his career prospects picked up. He started to make more money and getting promotions. He had more friends. He was socializing a lot more. I'm sure his libido went up. His health was much better. He slept better. His weight management was beautiful. His fitness was better. He ran a half marathon. His finances, we said, were great. He was so much happier. He was so much stronger. His confidence blew up. He was so great. His nutrition improved. His energy was beautiful. And he just started loving himself and the world. His stress level went down. So take a minute now and write down next to all these beautiful things on the wheel of life where you're at, whether one being very poor, two being poor, three being satisfactory, four being good, and five being excellent. And then what you would do is you would then do this again after you've started your exercise program. And after 3 months, only 12 weeks, I want you to go back to it and reassess yourself. And then every quarter, go back, and you will find that whilst you may not move off your career immediately, you will find that when things start balancing across in this wheel of life, all of those wheels start churning and magic happens for you in your life. Right. So what's the process of goal setting? So the first thing we've really established is decide what you really, 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 really want. Write it down, which you've done today. Make a plan with short and long-term goals. Any of our trainers at Soulful Fitness can have a look at your plan and see if it's okay with your goals. So come and see us at the desk. So make a plan with short and long-term goals. You must put short-term goals in there, and you must reward yourself on those short-term goals. Allocate a reward next to each of those goals and get an army of people to hold you accountable. Because so many times I have people coming in and I say, the lady says, I want to lose 20 kilos. And I say, so great. So who knows about it? And she says, no one. And I don't want anybody to know about it. And I said, great. You've absolutely successfully failed at this already. Because if you're not putting it out there, it means you're not committed to it and you're not going to get any support from your friends. The friends that you have far greater influence than any of your personal trainers, your private trainers, your teachers, any of your health community, because we only have you 2 to 3 to 5 hours a week. Even if you practice daily for 7 hours, 1 hour a day for 7 days a week, you are with your friends. I was at a 40th on Friday night, and I was with my friends for 7 hours. We had a party from 6 till 1 a.m. And those people had greater influence. There was lots and lots of food coming out, all sorts of spring rolls and fried. And a friend of mine went, sat down, had our own meal, and then came back into the party. No one knew we'd even left, but we did our own healthy alternative. We were good influences on each other. I said, oh, look, Alice, do you want to go and get some food? And they said yes, and we went and sat down. And those people could have greater influence. If he didn't know that I was healthy, he could just say, nah, let's just have this, and it would be sliders and pizzas and spring rolls. It was really just, actually, that's all the food there was. So it could have just been a disaster for my own personal goals had I did not have a person that knew the type of lifestyle that I like to live. So you need an army of people to hold you accountable. So they will say to you, hey, listen, I know you want the chips, because if you say, oh, I really want the chips. And I say, listen, I know you really want them, but I know you really want to lose 20 kilos more, so I won't have the chips either. Let's go. Let's both have the chicken salad or whatever it is today. You've got a circle influence around you. You will be so much stronger. And they will be so proud of you and your goals, even if they're small. If your goal is to just get your stomach back into strength after having 2 children, tell your husband, tell your children. They are so impressed when they see mummy having a go. And I'll also not be gender biased. When children see their fathers getting into shape, we get so many comments because we let the little kids come in and sit around the desk and we mind them while the parents are exercising. And the parents are so proud of their daddies doing yoga. So please understand that you are a massive role model to your children. Tell them what you're doing and they will get so excited. And then assess your goals and how you're going. And then if you're not going so good, reset. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just reset. Just go, okay, I'm going to start from today. I'm going to reset. Let's go on. Or if you've achieved your goals, reward. But your rewards must be good. There's a lot of books on psychology about patterns of behavior, and it's all too common that if someone gives up smoking, stops drinking, or gives up their chocolate cake or whatever their vice is, they generally reward themselves with it 3 to 6 months later, kind of like a really weird psychotic test, I think, on yourself, which is not fair to yourself. So what you must do is you must set the short and long-term goals with things that are really going to be beneficial to you, such as a massage, could be a healthy dinner, or it could even be a cooking lesson with somebody that does healthy cooking tips, a day spa, sports event tickets or concert tickets, a new outfit, haircut maybe, or a makeover. So if you're getting into health, please make sure that you're rewarding yourself with beautiful, beautiful, healthy rewards on your short and long-term goals. And one of your short-term goals should just be, in the first month, your only goal should be attendance. So if you're studying an exercise program, yoga or Pilates or walking or whatever, please make sure that your first goal for the first 30 days is attendance. I am going to walk 30 minutes 3 times a week, or I am going to attend 2 yoga and 1 Pilates class 3 times a week for 4 weeks. That's my first goal, because I promise you, if you set attendance goals, you will achieve your other goals. But to say I'm going to lose 10 kilos in the first month just might be put yourself under too much pressure. Or to say that I'm going to, go cold turkey, not drink any alcohol, again, it might put yourself under too much pressure. Attendance should be your first goal because it's achievable and you can navigate around obstacles a lot easier. If you're, like I said, if you are held back at work, then start setting early morning. Even if you don't like to get up, we're talking about 30 days. It's just 3 times a week for 4 weeks. And we want you to get into an attendance habit. Then you can up everything else. So when we're talking about motivation versus willpower, people are like, oh, I've got no motivation. Well, lucky for you, motivation washes off every day. And it can be so simple as this, that you say, I'm going to come into the club and I'm going to have a great workout. And you get out of your office at work and you're about to go to the yoga studio and you see your car's being keyed. Someone's come along with a key and scratched it. Are you motivated now to still do your workout? No, motivation is gone. You probably drive to the pub, have a few beers and be really upset with the person that scratched your car and have a really, really negative experience for the rest of the night. So motivation is something that you need to have a team of people around you to motivate, like your circle of influence and your trainers to push you through the workout. But what you need to do is derive willpower. So willpower is something like this. It comes again from the bottom of the gut, and it does come from the why. What we're doing is stirring up long-term feelings so that you know your journey and you know you're dead set focused on what you want to achieve. So the willpower might be this. Like so many people say, they'll have a chocolate in front of them and they'll sit there and go, I don't want the chocolate. I don't want the chocolate. I don't want the chocolate. Who are you really kidding? You are trying to lie to yourself. Like your body knows, you cannot lie to yourself. The body's going, you're an idiot. Of course we want the chocolate. So what you need to say is be really truthful and really honest with yourself. I want the chocolate, but I want to be 5 kilos lighter more. Or I want the chocolate, but I want to live a clean and healthy diet for 30 days to get better and more energy. Way more than the chocolate. And what you've done is you've acknowledged, I want this, but you've replaced it with something that you want more, which is your results. The other thing you can do with willpower is you can also use the 10-minute rule. So if you want the chocolate, you've tried to do what I've just said, but that's not working, then go for a walk for 10 minutes, change your chemistry, have a shower, and just give yourself the 10-minute rule that if you, in 10 minutes, want whatever it is, that you'll come back and you're allowed to have it. have a couple of glasses of water in the meantime just to fill your tummy a little bit, or a cup of herbal tea, nothing that's going to stimulate an appetite, and then come back, and chances are that after 10 minutes, your level of desire for that will be far less. So if you'd like some more information about willpower, I strongly recommend you jump onto YouTube. There's a Harvard professor called Kelly McGonigal who's written a book on willpower, and she's got a TED talk on willpower. She's also got a TED talk on stress release, and they are the two best TED talks I've seen on willpower, and the stress release is very, very good as well. And it's about stress and anxiety. It's about using them to your advantage, not being debilitated by it. So if you have stress, or you need some willpower, or you would just like to watch a really, really great TED talk and get some more information and education, Kelly McGonigal on TED Talk. Nutrition plays a huge part in your results. So 70% of weight loss is attributed to nutrition. It plays a massive role in reducing anxiety, in your energy levels, in your digestion of your nutrients from your gut. Plays a massive role in concentration, focus, and work performance. So please balance your carbs, protein, and fats, and please read food labels. So we're looking for levels of sodium. We're looking for levels of sugars. We're looking for carbohydrates, proteins, and fat balances. We don't want foods that are high in carbs, high in protein, and high in fats. We want very balanced diets. We want to know that we're eating this for a carbohydrate. We're eating quinoa for carbohydrate. We're eating fish for protein, and we're eating some broccoli and sweet potato for our there's some carbs in there as well, but we're eating that for our vitamins and nutrition. And we know that we've got different levels of nutrition going through, and vitamins in different colors. And then we'll put a little bit of olive oil into our foods for some great fats. So just make sure that you really understand there's a blend of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins that we really need to stick to. If you want to know your macronutrients, come into the studio. I will be glad to go through what you're after, and have a little look at it, give you some recommendations. We also work with nutritionists at the studio as well. So please read. To give you an understanding, the Sakata rice crackers, plain, versus the fantastic. Sakata have 3 ingredients: rice, what was it? Right? Oh, geez, it's a while since I looked at the packet. Rice, a vegetable oil, and salt. In the fantastic ones, there's about 10 ingredients, including numbers: 621, maltodextrin, which is a byproduct from wheat, a filler. Like, you've got to be really on point with these food labels. If you're going to buy packet foods, packet sauces, anything, you must start being very, very, very aware of what's in your food, because it does cause migraines, anxiety, reactions. And it's not that we're sensitive, it's just more additives are in our food than there were 20 years ago. Plus, the food in our soil is getting more polluted because it's near industrial sites. So a lot of the food is got heavy metals and pollution into it. So we're not, we are getting more sensitive, but there's a lot of stuff that's in our food. It's not clean like you think. So just try and eliminate anything like that out of your diet, but just start reading food labels. Like, I know a lot of the macronutrients in most of the things that I eat now, because you just start reading it and you just get really well educated. Have a food diary. So for breakfast, Monday, you write down what you ate. And even if you ate something really silly, write it down. You can use these food diaries and bring them in and give us a look at it at the studio, and we'll help you to ascertain where you're at. One of the members came up to me during our studio session that we did of this workshop, and said, "Oh, I'm just not losing weight. I'm exercising, doing some classes 3-4 times a week." And it come down to that she's eating carbohydrates for breakfast, carbohydrates for lunch, and carbohydrates for dinner, and quite high volumes of all of them. So it just doesn't work that way with we need a balanced diet. So put it through, work out what you've eaten in the last month. Oh, sorry, in the last week. The last month might be a bit hard. And again, bring it into the studio and we can have a really good look. Otherwise, if you're not around our studio and you'd like to have a look at it, take it to a nutritionist, or even just writing it down. If you go write it down and be really honest with yourself, at the end of the week, go back over it and you'll see some patterns and you think, wow, I ate toast then, toast then, toast then, toast then, bread then. It's just too much. And then you'll realize what your patterns of problems are that are causing your fitness or your allergy ailments for even that matter, or your body weight to stay on. So here's some great tips about planning goals. One, plan your workouts in your work diary. The most important appointment you could have in any week is with yourself to work on your cardio fitness, your strength, your confidence, or to clear your clutter out of your head. Like, they are the most important things you could be doing in any 1 hour. So please write down your workouts in your diary and stick to them. If you may need to make an adjustment, like you would need to make an adjustment for another meeting, make that adjustment. Just try and reallocate it rather than cancel that appointment or that class. Brush your teeth after dinner to tell your body the kitchen's closed. So if you're really, really trying to lose weight, after you eat your meal, probably a little while later, have some herbal tea or some water and then go brush your teeth, because it says to your body, that's it, nothing more is coming in, and you have that nice minty taste and you don't really feel like eating afterwards. Herbal tea after dinner, as long as it's not got caffeine in it, is a great way to fill you up. And some peppermint tea for digestion during dinner or just afterwards is also great. Try and avoid having really icy cold water with your meals, because it dilutes your stomach acid and it prevents your stomach from digesting the nutrients in your food. You really want to have just some jasmine teas through dinner time, or you could have just some room temperature water, but try and avoid too much cold water and too much water during dinner. If you're drinking alcohol, you've got a function on and you know you're going to go to a party, my tip is always to drink 2 cups of water in between each alcohol beverage. You can have mineral water. You can have, just be careful of sodium levels in too much mineral water or soda water. But just, you can have 2 cups of water between each glass. It'll ensure that you drink 3 glasses at maximum at a party, because you've had 6 waters in between. And then imagine, the hydration there is awesome too. So it's not only just preventing you from drinking so much because you're full, but it's also a great way to stay hydrated. If you're going to a function like what we did, generally what happens is that the entrees and the snacks that come out are heavy. A lot of time they're either fried or got pastry, the vol au vent or the spring rolls, or there's going to be some deep fried crab legs or whatever. So just try and stay away from all the fried food and all the entrees, and maybe have a couple of glasses of water then, because then if you're going to have a sit down meal like at a wedding, most of the time they're quite healthy, where you'll get a piece of meat and some vegetables, or if you're a vegetarian, you'll order a nice vegetarian meal. So which most likely isn't fried or full of saturated fats. So that's a really, really great tip. You could even ask for a salad first as a starter. Add more protein. So women especially at the moment, we just don't eat enough protein because we're always on the run. And we think we're grabbing a muffin is healthy when muffin's got 30, grams of fat, and it's probably one of the worst things you can have, because that's the whole day's, fat take plus carbohydrates are through the roof. It's probably the whole day's meal in one little packet there. So we just got to make sure we add more protein into our diet. So having an omelette in the morning is so easy. You can even cook it the night before and just pop it into the microwave in the morning if you're time poor in the morning. Yogurt, you could get coconut yogurt now if you're dairy intolerant. There's so many different protein products that you can have for breakfast. It's really, really, really great. Add that to breakfast and reduce packet breakfast as options. So try and eliminate, toast, white bread, eliminate cereals full of sugar. It's just wheat and sugar. Like, it's worse than Molly's, let's be honest. Eat fresh. Oh, if you're going to have breakfast with cereals, try and make yourself your own Bircher muesli. If you go to Source or About Life, you can grab some great products and mix your own mueslis together, or you can buy some already pre-made. I buy a paleo muesli. I have it only a couple of times, maybe on the weekend, or I just sprinkle some into my coconut yogurt in the mornings. So it's like protein number one, and then, my carbohydrates just small for that meal. And there's so much you can do. You can, put some nice warm pear through it. You can put some raspberries, a passion fruit, so much you can do. But your muesli doesn't have to be the full bowl. It can actually be some beautiful stewed fruits and some coconut yogurt. And then your muesli could just be like sprinkled through it. But there are some great mueslis around. And oats are great too. Oats are very, very good in winter for warming the gut and just keeping you a bit fuller for longer. Just don't put too much sugar in it. You could put some cinnamon. You could even, cinnamon is a great internal warmer too in Chinese medicine, which means it will keep your insides, stimulate your gut, keep it warm, not get the chill in there. And the cinnamon will be quite good as well. And eat fresh overall, reduce packets, and make your own sauces. Like, it's beautiful going to the fruit shop and getting a whole punnet of tomatoes and blending them up with some roasted capsicum and some garlic, and throw some shallots in there and some whatever you like, and then you've got a homemade pasta sauce. It'll be so beautiful, and have absolutely zero preservatives or fillers in there, and you've controlled how much salt goes in there and how much oil. Read food labels, nasty, nasty chemicals. It's not good for your kids either. And please don't give up. Nutrition is just a learning experience, and it's a journey. So go on that journey with it. Couple of things for your goals that I want to leave you with is, the first saying is, what you believe you achieve. If you really, really want to, achieve your goal, lose weight, tone up, get stronger, relieve back pain, reduce your stress, we want to support you 100%. But you need to be really honest with yourself and have a really good conversation and say, what do I really, really, really want? Where are the two worst areas that I'm not happy with? Why do I want to achieve this? I'm going to lock in a date. I'm going to have it achieved by this date. And if I don't, I'm going to feel awful. I'm going to feel old. I'm going to feel ugly. I'm going to feel unconfident. Whatever the horrible words are, the horrible feelings you are, you need to have that honest conversation with yourself. Because reality is, if you don't get started and don't go on your journey, that's what's going to happen. So as fitness providers and healers and all the people in our community, we can only get you onto the road. It's your journey. We just put you onto the path. It's up to you whether you go along that path for 12 months and get this stuff into your lifestyle or not. And we hope you do go on that journey, because it's a wonderful journey of the beautiful life. And if you can, learn to live a healthier, more vibrant life. And a really big saying that one of our number one yoga teachers says, Haley, if you fall out, jump back in. So if you fall off the wagon and you've had a big eating breakfast day, or you've had breakfast and someone comes around with some breakfast and you have to eat it kind of thing, just go to the next meal. I don't go tomorrow unless it's the night time and I feel like we've had a cheap meal tonight, the next day. But generally, it's the next meal. So if you've had a bad morning, don't say you're going to start your exercise program on Monday, because that never happens. Always say it's the next meal. So I'm going to eat really cleanly tonight. And then you feel so much better so quickly, because then you wake up and you're already into it. So maybe even go for a walk. Every little bit of movement that you do will help your goals so much. Even if it's an hour of gardening, just start moving. Instead of driving the car, take the bike to get the paper. Get in the garden for 10 minutes. If you take the dog for a 10-minute walk, take him for 20 minutes today. If go to yoga. If you don't usually go on Sundays, go for Sunday if you've got nothing to do and it's a rainy day. Just get on your Soulful Fitness app and see what classes are on and jump in. But if you fall out of your program, you fall off the wagon, you had too many drinks last night, jump back in the next day and get back on your travels, rather than giving up. It is there to be achieved. Your goals can be achieved. We believe you can achieve them. It's about setting realistic goals. It's about setting short-term goals, getting those rewards locked in. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you in the studio soon. Just work hard at your goal setting, and wish you all the best.